So I preach it here.
No problem, bro. I was just also coming back from my son's game, so he just I'm like just directly dropped him at home and came here. Give me 1 second. I'll start. Okay, we'll start with the prayer. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, beautiful.
Hello?
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me,
Hare
Mataji?
Krishna?
Can you hear me, Mataji? Deepa Mataji?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. So we will
Can we
start.
do
I'm
this
just
on
sharing.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, no problem. We'll start with the prayer. I'll bring that PowerPoint here actually so that you can also follow along here. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुकुं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Wonderful, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. This is on Google Meet, प्रभु। कोई है क्या, किसको ऐड करना, मैं शेयर करूं आपको? हाँ, एक सेकंड दीजिए प्रभु जी। I'll copy this. Just give me 1 second. I just shared with you, Prabhuji, WhatsApp. Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, oh, okay, the screen is visible, right? Beautiful. Okay, so we are on verse number 3 for the second chapter. Thank you, Mamita Mataji, for joining. Why is it showing a different screen? Oh, this is 2.3. We are going on 2.4, right?
Yeah, 2.3, I think. We have done 2.3.
Yeah, I think we did.
We did 2.3.
She joins, her name is Deepa Saha. So,
Yes. She's there, bro. Yes. She was there actually just few minutes back. Hopefully she'll join. Yes, Proji. Thank you, Proji. We finished the third one. We are on fourth verse. Somehow, I think it is taking time to load it here. Bhagavad Gita 2.4. We'll recite together. Arjuna Vacha Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyosthyami Pujarha Arisudana. Translation, please.
Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract attack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship?
Beautiful. Go ahead with the purport also, Mataji.
Respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counterattacked. It is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight, even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior. They should not be harshly treated. Then how is it possible for Arjuna to counterattack them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather, Ugrasena, and his teacher, Sandipani Muni? These were some of the arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Madhuri. Thank you, Surya Prabhu, for joining as well. So, this is a very beautiful verse. Can you quote me examples in real world, in history, even from scriptures, where the son or whoever is who actually defeated their superior or put them into difficulty? You got my point, right? As an example, where son or age of a son is putting elders into difficulty.
I think Prahalad and
Okay, is he putting his father into difficulty? It's the other way actually, right? So what I'm asking is, here Arjuna doesn't want to fight with his superiors because he thinks they are respectable, they are worshipable because they are my elders. So I shouldn't fight with them. What I'm looking for is, can you quote me from scriptures or even in real world where the son or the age of a son, that person is actually puts his elders into difficulty?
I kind of see all the time nowadays.
Very good.
At least in Western world.
Mhm.
So when I grew up back home in India, we were told that even a 1 minute elder is an elder.
Mm.
We have to respect them,
Mm.
make sure we listen to them,
Hmm.
don't hurt them.
Hmm.
Right? Here, 10 years younger people
Hmm.
treat 10 years older people the
Hmm.
way
Hmm.
you would treat 10 years younger people.
Very good.
Very insulting,
Yeah.
talking, rubbish, and not respecting at all.
Hmm.
That's, we continuously see that.
Hmm.
In fact, here, calling a name, right? I understand in Western world, you can call a name, that's good. But
Hmm.
even here, 10, 15 years old people are called with a name. I think that's speaking of.
Very, very good point. Yes.
In Bangalore too, people
Hmm.
call even 90-year-old person with a name.
Very good point. Thank you. I'll give you few hints and then quote me if you know about this pastime, Taj Mahal. I'll give you a hint. That is another example where a son is putting his father into jail for his own selfish purpose. Kamsa, what did he do?
He put his sister.
Put his sister into difficulty. He put his father into the jail. He actually put his father into jail and was ruling the kingdom. Third example is Ravana. What did he do? What was his brother's name? Correct, Vibhishan, and he had another brother also.
Vibhishan is a younger one.
Vibhishan is a younger one, but he has an elder brother. What is his elder brother's name?
Kavera.
No. Kuvera, thank you. Kuvera, he is the one who actually owns that flower plane, which he had, that plane, which he actually stole it from Kuvera. Thank you so much for adding. You see, there are so many examples in scriptures, in real world, in history, like you quoted in real world, where a person does not know the real moral of the life, where actually we respect our elders. And whoever did not do it, they had to go through a tough time. And you know what happened with Charja after whatever Aurangzeb and all that stuff, right? So that's an important part. Here, Arjuna is showcasing a very beautiful moral ability or moral thing, which is basically understanding that I should not disrespect. And what to talk about disrespect? I should not be fighting with my elders. So now, if you see from these moral principles perspective, it apparently looks like, sorry, it apparently looks like Arjuna is saying it correctly. Am I making sense so far? He shouldn't be fighting against that one. In this regards, I want to quote one story. I don't know if I told before. Did I tell the story about Karna meeting his father, sun god? Did I tell that story? Okay, I'll share that story. So, we all know about Mahabharat. Karna is fighting very bravely with Arjuna, and his chariot is stuck. So did I tell that story? So he is trying to remove the wheel, the chariot wheel, from the wherever it is stuck. Yeah, thank you. Krishna tells Arjuna, you take the arrow and shoot at him. Krishna tells to shoot at him. And Karna sees that. Oh, he picked up his bow and now he is sending the arrow. Karna said, this is not right. This is not dharma. He said, this is not dharma. Krishna stands up. Oh, you are talking about dharma. What happened to your dharma when Arjuna's son single-handedly, he was alone. You guys all come together and killed him from behind. Karna was the one who actually killed him from behind. Where was your dharma at that time? Where was your dharma when Draupadi was being disrobed? If you see from a relationship perspective, he is actually elder brother of Yudhishthir. Right? So he is supposed to take care of her. But what did he call her? You have 5 husbands. Your name is Panchali. You should marry the 6th husband. And at that time, Krishna says, where was your dharma? You are talking about dharma. So this is the mindset of the people in the world. They do not talk about moral principles when they are into action. But when something bad happens to them or something does not go well with them, they start to blame. You also see a lot of people like that who never turn towards God, but they turn towards God when something bad happens to them. They realize, oh, you know what, God, where are you? Why didn't you save me? Oh, until now, everything happening nicely, you never remembered God. And now you're saying, oh, Krishna, why did you do that? So people have a tendency to have a blame game. When things go good, I take the credit. But when things go bad, then I have to blame others. Either it is God, either people, or either situations around us. Right? So here Karna is doing a similar thing. Anyway, so Arjuna shot the arrow, he is dead. Now who is Karna? He is a Surya Putra. If you remember, first 2 sessions I talked about his past life, right? So he goes to Surya Dev and he tells Surya Dev, Father, this was not right. This Krishna followed adharma. And at that time, that's the crux of that story. Surya Dev says, I'll tell you a very beautiful thing. So he said, my dear son, there are 2 dharmas. One is called as samanya. In Hindi, it is ordinary dharma. And another one is called as Vishesha dharma. Samanya dharma and Vishesha dharma. Vishesha, if I have to translate in Hindi, superior dharma. I'll put it that way. So he said, based on the samanya dharma, you are supposed to take care of family, you are supposed to take care of all these responsibility and whatever has to be taken care. And there is a special dharma. Lot of times there are situations in your life where both of these things are conflicting. And it happens to all of us. Nobody can say, I don't see that. What is samanya dharma? That you have to take care of your family responsibility, you have to take care of a job, you have to take care of elders, and everything has to be taken care. But there is a Vishesha dharma. What is Vishesha dharma? When there is a conflict, what is Vishesha dharma? Is my duty towards God. And Surya Dev is telling, Pandavas are your elder brothers. They are on the side of dharma. And Krishna gave you an option to fight against Pandava and you become the king. But you said, because I ate the salt of Duryodhan, that's why I want to fight against it. So salt is a samanya dharma. I ate that. But what is Vishesha dharma? When there is a conflict, you should follow Vishesha dharma, not the samanya dharma. Am I making sense so far? Correct. Even sometimes moral and ethics can also come to samanya dharma because there is no God involved with that. So for an example, You have two choices. I have a friend calling for a cinema, and I have a, sorry for picking that example, but not trying to quote you here. Um, you have an option that your friend calls, very close friend, he comes, he says, let's go for a cinema. And then you have a Bhagavad Gita class. Now the question comes in is, both are priorities. What is Samanya Dharma and what is a Vishesha Dharma? Well, certainly it may feel, oh, my friend is coming after a long period of time. I want to spend some time. That is Samanya Dharma. But Vishesha Dharma is what is needed for the soul. How can I establish my relationship with God? Trust me, our time in this world is very, very limited. Very, very limited. We have no idea about what is coming on next moment. No idea. Like I was just driving. Imagine you are driving comfortably, the road is empty. It happened to me once, but I'll just quote this example. And there is nobody on the road, you are driving comfortably. All of a sudden, some animal come on your way. It happened. Or the guy who is in front of us should be driving. You assume that that guy, so if the speed limit is 70, you assume that that guy is going to drive at the speed of at least 70 or 65. How about if he's driving at the speed of 40? And you just got distracted with the phone text within a second. What can happen? You can imagine. So here, Surya Dev is telling at the time you should have followed Vishesha Dharma. So though Arjuna here is talking about Samanya Dharma, am I making sense so far? Based on the Samanya Dharma, I'm supposed to respect my elders. But how about if the elders are on the side of Adharma and trying to set up or trying to support Adharma? Then what I should be doing? I should be practicing my Vishesha Dharma. Am I making sense so far? Right? Very important part. And we will see this. The life is not white and black. A lot of times the choices are not clear whether I should do or both apparently looks right. Should I do this or should I do that? So for an example, if I take a vow that I'm going to chant 16 rounds every day, I promise my spiritual master. Now at a certain period of time that you have a lot of services which you need to perform, you feel, should I do service or should I chant my 16 rounds? Now at the time, this is not a white and black situation. Both the situations are that way. You have to think through what has to be done. So for an example, you have to take care of a job, you have to take care of kids' game as well. So now you feel, how do I do that? So that's where you have to understand that the life is not full of white and black, but it is also having a shade of gray, where you need to run your heart and brain together to realize which route you want to go for. And that's what is going to be defeated by Krishna in the next verse. Any comments before we move to next verse?
I have a couple of comments.
Yes,
Sorry
please.
for taking your time.
No.
For 25 years, I've been bothered with my age
Mm.
person,
Mm.
kind of being mean to
Yeah.
a guy who is like 7-8 years older than us.
Mm.
It's been happening. I know the other person is really, really bad.
Mm.
Ethically, morally, he's bad.
Mm.
But still, I used to think what my age guy is doing is wrong, the way he was treating the other guy,
Mm.
right? So when we read this,
Mm.
right,
Mm.
it says that even elders, if they're even making bad, still don't fight with them, right?
Little deviation there.
Give me.
Okay.
I have a point here.
Huh.
So I made up my mind that, okay, over a time, I also agreed with my age guy
Mm.
to fight with the other guy.
Hmm.
It's me, right? I've been doing it. So reading this, I thought, oh, elder, it makes mistake, also still not fight.
Mm.
Okay. Now, when you explain about two dharmas, the bigger dharma
Yeah.
is where I have to stand up.
Yes.
When he's doing so bad, he should be beaten up with messages. So that he will never do that.
Mm.
So now I'm thinking what I've been doing is right.
Amazing. Yes. Lord, we need to know the difference between Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma. So in this situation, there is no Vishesha Dharma involved at all. This is not that he is fighting or he is doing whatever he is doing wrong on the based on Dharma. So there is no concept of Vishesha Dharma here. There is only Samanya Dharma.
Yeah.
And at Samanya Dharma, to be honest, Prabhu, very difficult to say who is right. Very difficult. A lot of times we hear one part of the story, we think he is wrong. When we hear the other part of story, I'm sure your kids have grown up, but my kids are there. The one kid will come, my sister did it like that. And when I hear that story, she did bad. And if I don't hear from her, I will not understand what's going on. When I hear from her, both the sides. So at that time, Samanya Dharma, Even if you do your best, you will still,
Miss points.
yeah, you will still do. That's unfortunately the thing, right? So that's how it is laid out. Is it okay? We move to the next verse. Beautiful. On the next verse, it's also visible online. Guru Natwahi Mahanubhavan Shreyo Bhoktam Vaikshyam Apiha Loke Hatvartha Kamamstu Gurun Iheva Bunjiya Bhogan Rudira Pradidan. It's a complex verse. Who can read the translation and purport,
I
please?
can do it.
Please.
It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood.
Hmm. Purport?
According to scriptural quotes, a teacher who engages in an what is it?
Abominable.
Abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial consideration. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers. But Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain his superiors, and therefore to enjoy material profit after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood.
Beautiful. Again, connecting back the same points applied here. Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma. Trust me, in this world, escaping from a problem is the most easiest thing to do. When it is very cold, I will run away from here, I'll go to Florida. Easy, right? I don't have to do much on that part. But when you are in difficulty, you face that difficulty. And when you grow through it, and I'm not saying, so there are two aspects. Either you go through life or you grow through life. Am I making sense? 99% of the people go through life. What to happen? It is supposed to happen in life, so let it go. But there are people who grow through life. I gave an example about Edison the other day, right? His teacher wrote him a letter saying that you give it to your mother. And what did the letter say?
Artistic.
Yeah, he is an artist. That your son does not know anything. We don't think so. He is capable to actually attend school. So you teach it at home. But what did his mother read? Correct. And teachers think they don't. The school doesn't have best teacher to train you, and that's why they are suggesting you should be trained at home. The same person is transformed. There are so many examples in history. I forgot the names. There are people, I forgot her name. This lady, she had issues on her feet. She would never be able to walk. But she wanted to run for Olympics. And people were, how can you do that? I forgot her name. If you remember, just let me know. So she went to the doctor. Doctor said, you can't even walk. How are you going to run in Olympics? She dared to participate in one of the Olympic races at school. She came last. People were laughing at her. But she was so clear that I will do it. I forgot her name. It's a very famous name. She ran for real Olympics and she won first award. This is very important. When you face difficulty and then cross through it, you shine it. Did I give an example about marshmallow theory? Did I speak about that?
I think you did, but I'm not remembering.
So there is a whole, what they call it as, they did an analysis is not a right word, but they actually, what they did is, small kids, they put them in a classroom, they put a jar of marshmallows in the center. And they said, We are going out, the teacher said, don't eat that. If you don't eat, we will give you something more sublime. Or this thing. So there were a lot of kids who jumped on marshmallows and they ate marshmallows, but there were a few who did not touch the marshmallows at all. When teacher came, they of course seen through the video saying that who ate and all that stuff. So the kids who didn't eat, they asked them, so why didn't you eat? They actually restrained them because they followed the instruction, and these people became great leader in future. So this is very important. What is Arjuna saying? Let me escape from here. Easy. I don't want to fight. I can go to the forest. But here there is a bigger principle which is happening behind the scene. There is a huge background which is never spoken before even Mahabharata was told. How did Mahabharata even reach from the beginning? How were the Pandavas born? So Mother Bhumi, I covered that in the first class. The Mother Bhumi, the Prithvi, Earth, she went to Lord Vishnu that there is so much of chaos on the earthly planet. People are creating a chaos and they are exploiting me. Can you come and save me? And Lord Vishnu said, I'll appear in Dwapar Yoga. And he appeared. So he appeared for what reason? The earth requested. So Krishna appeared to save Mother Earth. That is not shown in the CV serial. Oh, why is Krishna making this war happen? No context. It's easy to just judge the book based on the title. Right? But when you buy the cover, that's the word which is used. Don't judge the book by the cover because you have no idea what is the content of that book. That's how the leaders, don't judge them by name or this. You see their life, they have transformed. I was just telling my daughter the other day, Jai Shri Radha Gopi Janol Bhagwan ki jai. Jai Patita Pavana Gaurari ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Where was I? Yeah. I was just telling my daughter, don't think that academically, if you do well, that is the only way to be successful in life. I was giving an example about Dhirubhai Ambani. He had a tea stall. This guy has a small tapri in Maharashtrian language, we call it as. He was selling tea. What he ended up becoming? Rajnikant, who was he? Bus conductor. How much is the probability of a bus conductor to become at that level? Very, very few. 0.001. Yeah, correct. So they grew up. Right? So escapism is very easy. I don't want to face the difficulties in my life. But when you face through it, you not go through it, but you grow through it. That's the important aspect. Making sense? Should we move to next verse? Okay. Feel free to raise any questions you have online or here. We are on 2.66. Sorry, I don't have glasses, so I don't see the TV here. Nachaitad with Mahakataram Nogarayo. Yadva Jayema Yadivano Jayeyu. Zoom? Okay. There is actually a different meter, and that's when, let me remember.
The third line.
Yeah, but there is a special meter how to sing so that we can remember. Nishkinchandra bro, what is the meter for this verse?
न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयः यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा नरजीविषामः तेव स्थिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः.
Beautiful. Thank you, Surya bro. Can you remind me another meter? Ah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, bro. No, you did it.
Hindi or English to read?
Bro,
Same thing. If you
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but the meter for Bhagavad Gita is, yeah, like I always say, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome. So,
thank you. So coming back to your point, so this is in 2. Now we will try again. Nachaitad vidma kataram nogariyo. Yadva jayema yadivano jayeyu. Yane vahatva najje visamas. Teva sthita pramukhe dhritarashtraha. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Surya Prabhu, for reminding me. So we read the translation. Who can read the translation, please?
Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to leave. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield.
Beautiful. Read the purport.
Arjuna did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain or and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjuna definitely prove that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly virtuous, as these qualities, combined with his faith in the words of instructions of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was competent in all these attributes over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationships.
Beautiful. There is a very beautiful example from Ramayana. Dashrath Maharaj, finally, after so much of difficulty, got Ramchandraji, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughan. Life is going great. Vishwamitra Muni comes once. And Janak Maharaj says, or Dashrath Maharaj says, whatever you ask, I'll give you. And Dashrath Maharaj, Vishwamitra Muni says, there are a lot of demons who are troubling us in the forest. I want Lord Ram. And he says, oh, you take anything you want. I'll come to fight, but please don't take Lord Ram. He says that stuff. But Vishwamitra Muni is not listening. And now at this minute, he realizes Vashishta Muni, who is his guru, is already there. He is watching the whole scene there. And Vishwamitra Muni is about to get angry. And at that time, Dashrath Maharaj asks Vashishta Muni, what should I do? This is very important. Earlier times, everyone had some spiritual connection through whom they seek guidance when there are difficulty to make decisions. What happens in today's world? When you have difficulty in your life, your friend calls, let's go to a bar and have a glass of wine. What is the shelter we are looking for? This is escapism based on the previous verse. Here Arjuna is telling the problem statement to Krishna. Now one may say, okay, I don't have a guru. I have a problem statement. Whom do I approach? Am I making sense? Don't think these deities are stones. There is one devotee who just came. She gave a class. Born and brought up in America, fluent in more than 7 languages. She speaks Japanese, Chinese, Russian, and so many other languages, Hindi. Born in India. Born in America. She's not, she's white person. She has been staying in Govardhan in Vrindavan for more than 30 years. More than 30 years. For us, even being an Indian, imagine living a village. I know you came from village, but if you go now, it is difficult. We can't actually live there for so many years. She lived there for 30 years. And when some people were asking her a question about how to actually experience Krishna in the holy name, she said, why don't you talk to Krishna? That Krishna, my mind is a problem. I'm not the mind. My intelligence is a problem. I'm not an intelligence. Please help me relish your holy name. Like after every class, we chant Hare Krishna's name because Krishna's name, form, and qualities are non-different. For an example, if I'm thirsty now, if I say water, water, will I get water? Will I get quenched? Will my thirst quench? No. I need physical water because water word is different from physical water. Am I making sense? But Krishna's name is not different like that. So this is an important part which he talked about, that you need to have a shelter of a someone who actually has spiritual principles set up and seek guidance from them. Right? Like earlier times in village, there used to be a concept of called as panchayat. I don't know what is an English term for that. So there are senior people who take decisions, not that they have to go to the court and all that stuff. And these people will speak everything based on scriptures. Did I cover that story about the crematorium quoted with the numbers, and then one person is moving to that village? Right? What was the qualification of a person to whatever number is written based on the time they spend on their spiritual practices? But today we are bereft of spiritual practices. What is the life? I wake up, run for my work, somehow grab my breakfast, not even get the time to sit on the table and eat, just grab while you drive, and then you come there, and lunch also, you have meetings, you eat lunch during the meetings, evening again you rush, and whatever is cooked in the morning or whatever has to happen over the week, people cook, and then you have that. Where is the life? Where is the time for spiritual practices? Where is the time? There is no time. We have time for TV. Every house there is a TV. 70 inch, 80 inch, 85 inch. When I come back, when I'm tired, I'll just switch on the TV and sit like a potato couch. Just sit there and eat chips on that. Do you think my body is going to just grow like that? Where is the brain tissues being developed? There is no concept of brain tissues being developed. There is no concept of spiritual practices. So that's where when things go not the way we are thinking about, doesn't go the way we are thinking about, then we can't handle it. Whether it is relationship, whether it is children's education, whether it is our job or anything else. Very interesting. On the packet of cigarette, what does it write? Have you read that packet? I never saw that, but I'm just... Yeah, and now they even write, even tobacco, that it kills. Very interestingly, if you see these statistics, when they put that word, their cells were doubled. Am I making sense? When they wrote that this thrills but kills, the cells were doubled. Now one may say, this is stupid, isn't it? Am I making sense? How is that you know that this is going to kill me, but you still do that? You still do that. When you go to any shop, they ask you an age identity. If you buy either tobacco or either buy wine bottle, what does that mean for? Now, if you see logically, as you grow, you are supposed to be more intelligent. Am I making sense? Which means you discriminate what is good for me and what is not good for me. So what it should be? Anyone above 21 or whatever is, the child should be asked, saying that this is not good for you. But the adult, you should already know that I shouldn't be eating. So logically, the sales will only go for under 21. Like I came from Gujarat, and I was just shocked. In Gujarat, no, this liquor is not allowed. So I was thinking, great, they did a mate. And I was told, based on these statistics, highest liquor is used in Gujarat. How? When you restrict, then it is like that. There is a spiritual institution. I don't want to quote the name. You may be knowing it or you can find out. They have a big center in Pune. Their philosophy is that lot of Westerners in that process. Their philosophy is don't restrain sex life. Enjoy as much as you want, and over the time you will get away with that, and then you will attain moksha. Wow. Correct. I don't want to quote the name, but it just imagine what kind of practices we are building. Earlier time, the kids, the when the child is born, when he comes to an age of education, he goes and lives at Gurukul. He lives at Gurukul. And the Guru, the role of Guru Patni is what? She decides whether he should continue brahmacharya or whether he should get grasta. She would guide that, no, you should go to brahmachari, you continue brahmacharya, and you get into grasta life based on the mindset of a child. And now I was just shocked. Even the age of 6, 8, 10, now in the school they have sex education talking about what you should be aware of. What a nonsense. There was I spoke about that. This doctor whom I just my doctor to see, he said, guns. In other European countries, the guns are not allowed only. But now children has gun. What do they do about gun? This is the problem. When the wrong thing is given at a wrong age, then we are responsible for the consequences. So here, coming back to this point, Arjuna is relying on spiritual principle. He is seeking guidance from Krishna. He is seeking guidance. We are seeking guidance from scriptures which were spoken by Krishna, which is a very important principle. Any comments here before we move? Okay. Text 2.7. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava Prachami tvam dharma samudachetaha Yad shreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme Shishyaste hamsadi mam tvam prapannam. Translation and purport, please.
Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Purport, Mataji.
By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is a perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplical succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not, therefore, remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Who, who is a man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In Aranyaka Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follows: Yova ether
Skip the Sanskrit, no problem. Don't worry
Sorry.
about it.
He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human, and who thus quits this world like cats and dogs without understanding the science of self realization. This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is a Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize his body to solve all the problems of life. Yayatha, I can't read that.
No problem. Go ahead.
The Krapanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc., in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna should and could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet, foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person but to unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Beautiful. Thank you. I wanted to show one video. Let me see if this is the right video. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to bring this video here. I guess I have to share that separately as well. Okay, beautiful.
We want to check if they can hear the.
Yes. Yes. Let me share first.
I think so during share, you have to say audio also.
Yeah, good point. Thank you, Prabhuji, for bringing that up. I'm going to play it. Let me know if you can hear this video. If you can't, just let me know. Accordingly, I'll fix that.
Hills and dense
Can you
forests,
hear?
there lived a
Yes.
group of blind men.
You can hear, right, Mataji?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I'm going to train this and make full screen.
In a small, peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a group of blind men. They had been blind since birth and had never seen the world. They relied on their hands, ears, and hearts to understand life. They were content in their way, but their world was small, shaped only by what they could touch and hear. Despite their limitations, they believed they knew everything. They often sat together, discussing life, knowledge, and wisdom. They trusted their own understanding, even though none of them had ever experienced true vision. To them, their truth was the only truth. One day, news spread that a grand elephant had arrived in the village. The blind men had heard tales of elephants, huge, majestic beings that symbolized strength and wisdom. Their curiosity was sparked. They decided to experience the elephant for themselves. For the first time, they felt a longing to understand something beyond their small world. They set out together, eager to discover the truth about this legendary creature. When they arrived, the elephant stood tall and grand, its presence breathtaking. The air seemed to hum with its majesty. The blind men could sense its enormity, even without seeing it. Their hearts raced with excitement as they stepped closer, their hands trembling with anticipation. Each one was eager to touch the creature, to finally understand what an elephant truly was. The first man moved forward, his hands outstretched. His fingers brushed against the elephant's leg. It was thick, solid, and unyielding, like the trunk of an ancient tree rooted deep in the earth. He ran his hands up and down, feeling the rough texture of its skin. A smile spread across his face as he thought to himself, "So, this is what an elephant is, a mighty pillar, strong and unmovable. It holds up the world, steady and unshakable." In his mind, he could almost see the elephant as a towering column of strength, a symbol of power and stability. The second man moved closer, his hands searching the air until they found the elephant's tail. It was thin, flexible, and swayed gently in the breeze, like a rope swaying in the wind. He grasped it lightly, feeling its smooth texture, and the moved with a life of its own. A sense of wonder filled him as he smiled and said in his heart, "No, the elephant is not a pillar. It is like a rope, delicate and free, dancing with the wind. It is light and graceful, a creature of movement and joy." In his mind, he pictured the elephant as something fluid and alive, a being that flowed with the rhythms of the world, untethered and full of life. The third man stepped forward, his arms stretching out cautiously. His hands brushed against something broad and soft, gently flapping in the air. It was the elephant's ear. He paused, feeling its smooth texture and the rhythmic motion as it moved back and forth, like a giant fan cooling the world. A sense of calm washed over him as he ran his fingers along its edges, marveling at its gentleness. He nodded to himself, a quiet certainty forming in his mind. The elephant is not a pillar or a rope, he thought. It is like a leaf, gentle and soothing, bringing comfort to the world. It is a creature of peace, swaying with the breeze, offering shade and serenity to all. In his heart, he imagined the elephant as a symbol of tranquility, a gentle giant that carried the quiet grace of nature itself. Each man formed his own understanding of the elephant, shaped by what he had felt. They were convinced they had discovered the truth, each one holding tightly to his own perception. The first man spoke of strength, describing the elephant as a mighty pillar, unshakable and firm. The second man countered with delicacy, insisting it was like a rope, light, free, and dancing with the wind. The third man spoke of grace, comparing the elephant to a gentle leaf, soft and soothing. Their voices grew louder as they argued, each one certain he was right. The more they debated, the more their words tangled, creating a web of confusion. As they stood there, lost in their disagreement, the air grew heavy with tension. Their voices echoed, but their words brought no clarity. Just then, a wise guru appeared, as if the universe itself had sent him. He had been watching silently from a distance, his eyes filled with kindness and his heart brimming with compassion. He saw their struggle, the way they clung to their limited truths, each man trapped in his own small world of understanding. They were like pieces of a puzzle, scattered and disconnected, unable to see the whole picture. The Guru's gaze softened as he realized their blindness was not just of the eyes, but of the mind and spirit. He knew they needed guidance, someone who could shine a light on their confusion and lead them out of the darkness. With a calm presence, he stepped forward, ready to show them the way. He gently took the first man's hand and guided it away from the elephant's leg. Slowly, he led the man's fingers to the trunk, letting him feel its rough, textured surface and its curious, curling shape. Then, he moved the man's hand to the tusks, smooth and sharp, and finally to the massive body, broad and sturdy. The Guru repeated this with the others.
I'll pause here. What do you think is connection of this video with the verse or purport we read now?
It's about having a master who has a broader view and knowledge, who can help you see that rather than just from your point of view.
Very good. Don't think these people are blind. In our context, we are spiritually blind. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put you down, but I'm just trying to share something. Unless we have someone who has a complete picture, we think whatever perspective or smaller knowledge we have, based on that, we think this is truth. Like these people are thinking the elephants just touching the ears, they feel that this is like a leaf. But elephant is not like a leaf. When they touch every part of it, then they realized elephant is, yes, his ears are like leaf, but it is much more than that. That's what the principle about spiritual master and the scriptures. The scriptures share the detailed what elephant is all about. But for us, because we have a limited perception, we don't read scriptures, We need a guru to guide us. For an example, Surya Prabhu is doctor here. So for an example, I stand up. A person has a cancer and needs a treatment. I tell him, oh, you know what? You have to pay millions of dollars. You need an insurance. I read all the books, how the cancer has to be treated. I can treat you at half the price. Will the patient agree? Hey, come on, this is the situation of my life. How can I just rely on theoretical knowledge you are speaking about? I have no idea but how many patients you cured. You're just giving a theoretical knowledge. You just read the books, but you did not actually take care of a patient who is already a cancer diagnosed, right? So you need a person who actually shares from his experience, not just by book theory. There is so much on internet today where people speak high philosophy. We have no idea about what is their background, what do they do in their life. Like I remember when I was a child, I used to hear someone. My parents would play that on TV. Atma serial used to come and I would hear. This guy was speaking beautifully. I would literally, while brushing my teeth, I had tears in my eyes. What? Few years down the line, he was jailed. Wow. I am just relying on this person to tell me the truth of my life. He himself hasn't explored. The character is not there. You see in scriptures, even Ravana was a Brahmana. He knew scriptures, but how did he utilize those scriptures for? To exploit people around the world. So is that a problem with the scripture? No. Problem is not in the scripture. So problem is for person who is taking that information and applying it in wrong way. So who is needed in our life other than scripture? The spiritual master who teaches how to apply this. When we read Bhagavad Gita on our own, we can never understand what Bhagavad Gita is trying to tell me in context of my life. Because we think that's a third party problem. Let him handle. Right? Like COVID happened. For people who did not go through COVID, they feel, oh, they're not good. But what the other person is going through, only that person knows it. Until the person himself or herself experiences, then they will understand what this disease is all about and understand the pain of others who are going through that. So this is what the point which is being spoken here. Arjuna is now changing his role. Arjuna is not a friend with Krishna. He is taking up a role of a disciple now. And guru-disciple relationship is not like a friendship relationship. Because in friendship, we take things for granted. That's how it is designed. But in Guru-Shishya, the principle is very clear. The disciple is supposed to listen submissively and follow what Guru is teaching. What Guru is teaching, this has to be followed. Like given example of Vishwamitra Muni, Vashishta Muni. Though, if you see Dasharath Maharaj, he is the king. He is providing food and all, kept whatever is needed for Vashishta Muni. So you may see he is superior. Not really. Material calculation wise, this guy seems to be superior. But what we need is a wisdom. We don't need a knowledge. The wisdom is provided by people who have actually chewed that information, realized that information. That is an important aspect which I wanted to bring. And this is the most beautiful verse of chapter 2. And we will have series of verses after that. But this is the first place Arjuna is changing the role. And that's where Krishna is now going to guide. Until we don't take a submissive role that I am struggling, I don't have an answer for the problems of my life, I'm sorry, we will not gain the knowledge. For an example, a patient who feels I'm all right will never go to the doctor. Even if you go to the doctor will tell me you're sick. No, I'm not sick. I'm perfectly fine. But until patient realizes I'm sick, then he follows doctor's prescription perfectly because he realizes I need to be cured. I'm sick. Arjuna so far, though he is saying I have this problem, that problem, but he's saying, no, I will figure it out. But Arjuna could not figure out, and now he is surrendering to Krishna. And that is a change of the theme which is happening. This is the verse which is starting the whole Bhagavad Gita now, where now the context is coming as Guru disciple. Right? So I went 4 minutes over time. Any questions or comments before we wind up? Okay. If what is that?
This is a wonderful message.
Yeah, it's
Because even
thank
in
you.
our day-to-day life, let's say I have a friend who is a doctor.
and we talk in a friendly terms like, oh, I am having some little bit health issue. So yeah, as a friend, he can tell me. But if I don't follow that, even as a friend advice, and then eventually a friend can say, okay, it looks like you are not listening to me as a friend. You better go and see the actual doctor yourself. Then you will understand why, what you need to do. So it's kind of similar. Unless you get into that role, your behavior may not change. So
If the same Bhagavad Gita I give you for not about talking about you, if you give something cheap, people take things cheaply. They have a tendency. Same thing if you give $100, $100, it must be something special. Are same message is there, but now I'm selling it for 100. You feel it is expensive, which means it has to be great. Cheap things, people when things are given freely, people think it cheaply. And that's why this process of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you feel, Hare, it's so simple. Does it really work? Why? Because I think freely